Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Camels are an incredibly resilient animal.
I love camels. I think she's a very interesting artist.
Bella probably loves camels because they're just so brown.
Oh, her favorite color.
And it's so hot where they live, you know?
That's
she
true.
She would just live on a camel. Like, just vibe with a camel.
I hate this image that you have put into my head. I hate it so much.
Bella in the dunes. Just
Bella
vibing.
in the dunes!
Oh, re-edit. Can we re-edit
Yeah.
Dune? Is it too late to put Bella in there?
Yeah, instead of that just like big worm, it's just a big old camel's mouth. That's terrifying. I would be so scared of that.
I hate it. I love it, though.
So embarrassing. But welcome to the new podcast name of Bella in the Dunes. Because that really does roll off the tongue here.
It feels right.
It does. There's something about it that just really makes sense, even though all of those words are just a puzzle in and of themselves. But anyways, welcome to Into the Twilight. We hear, we queer,
This is true.
and we don't, but here's the problem. We don't actually want to be here. We don't want to be seen. Okay?
But nevertheless, we are
But we are here and we
duty.
persist.
We are persisting.
We have a lovely laugh that is joining us here. I'm so excited to introduce you all to Mia. I'm so excited that you're here, the one and the only. There are no other copies of you.
Oh,
I'm so excited.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you.
The only one of your kind.
Yep, you are the main character.
Thank you. Thank you.
Queen of
Oh,
Letterboxd.
please.
Amazing writer, person extraordinaire.
Whoa. Okay.
It's our job. We gotta hype you up.
I'm loving
It's
this.
true.
This rocks.
Unofficial Brad Pitt.
Yes.
Can I tell you, Mia, that I almost put Brad Pitt on here? Like, instead of your, like, it's become so ingrained into me that I was like, oh yes, Brad Pitt coming to this student today.
I love
We
that.
finally got him.
We finally got him.
And surprisingly, like, Brad Pitt has a lot of feelings about Twilight. Who knew?
Who would have
Yeah,
thunk?
who would have guessed? Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Mia, I'm so glad that you are here. It is nice to be able to welcome you finally to this space.
I'm thrilled to be here. I have a wild relationship with Twilight.
can't wait.
It is lengthy and strange.
cannot
Much
wait
like
to
the
get into
series, much like the saga itself.
Good.
Yes.
Amazing. For folks that have the audacity not to know who you are and your iconic Twitter name, would you be able to share with us a couple of fun facts about who you are? I will tell you that I hate asking this question, but the idea of speaking for you makes me very uncomfortable.
I will say some things. Let's see. Well, I am Brat Pitt, that's me. I'm on the you may know me from letterboxd.com. Where I post a lot about celebrities I would like to rail me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And people click like on them for some reason. So I don't know what happened there, but that's my main thing. And let's see, what else about me? I live in Hollywood now.
Ooh.
I know! I
Glamorous.
live by the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, and I walk there all the time, which is very Bella Swan behavior, I think.
It is.
Real BS.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah, the idea that there would have been a couple years ago where you would just tag yourself on Foursquare at a cemetery is like real Bella moves.
Yes.
Oh, totally.
Exactly. I have 3 husbands. They have an order. Brad Pitt, obviously, he's number 1. Then John Cassavetes, the dead director, and then our boy Robert Pattinson.
I think that's an appropriate order, actually.
Yes, that's Robert Pattinson's only so low because I'm very scared of him.
Sure.
Right.
I am terrified of interacting with him. I don't think I would be able to, which is difficult when he's your 3rd husband.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes.
I feel like if there's anything I've learned over the past 4 years, it is that being afraid and intimidated of Robert Pattinson is completely real, and that's what he wants. Mm-hmm. Knowing so much about him, of like that he smells like crayons and he doesn't cry. Like, who is this man? Like, why?
I'm so scared of him. He's like
so
really
intimidating.
He's like one of my biggest fears.
That's fair.
He is my devil all the time.
Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Ew.
One of the things that we do in general to combat the shit that we are going to talk about, as well as just like this year in particular, is talk about a happy thing that's happened to us recently. What is your happy thing?
Whoa. That's a big question.
Yeah, we usually get that question. That response is pretty normal.
Whoa. Okay, let's see. I just watched the hit film Madagascar.
Ooh.
I did see you tweet about this.
Yes.
And I do need to know a lot more. It seems like you watch this frequently. And I just associate Madagascar with being a really shitty daycare movie that they would play.
Oh! Okay, so first off,
Fights are happening.
well, here's the thing about Madagascar, is that I will concede that the four main characters of Madagascar I don't really care about their struggle. I am here for King Julian.
And I think that's yes, I agree.
I think that he is a genuinely fascinating character. He is queer-coded royalty.
That's exactly right.
He took the world by storm.
I will say I don't know you too well, Mia, but I just from what I know about you, I think you do exude a lot of King Julian energy.
Thank you.
In the best possible way
absolutely.
possible.
That
I
is
think
so
the
nice.
vibes are like extraordinary.
That is what I'm going for. Thank you. He's a huge inspiration. Like, truly. I just think he's so much fun. Sacha Baron Cohen does an excellent job. Like, King Julian was not supposed to be a huge role in the film, and then they were like, whoa, SBC is killing it. Let's expand his role. And now we have I Like to Move It, Move It.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Do you guys like to move it, move it?
I love the idea of that. However, I am so white, unfortunately.
Well,
and so clumsy that it would be incredibly bad. But in my soul, I do like to move it.
I'm thinking about King Julian when I should be thinking about our other king, Cullen.
That's amazing. I'm so glad you brought this to the
Yeah, this is truly serotonin in my veins right now.
Yeah, I love it so much. Cody, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. My happy thing, I don't even know if it's a happy thing. I think it's more of like a fun update. But there's a segue, I think, here, because there's a Sacha Baron Cohen segue here.
Oh.
I spent most of today writing about Sweeney Todd, and my brain is broken. I think I'm regressing. I think I'm just back to like my middle school, like annoying theater kid self that was just really into that. And I hate it. Also, I had to be reminded that Sacha Baron Cohen is in that movie for no reason whatsoever.
I have to say something.
Please.
Please.
Please raise your hand. Speak your
I
truth.
just rewatched Sweeney Todd like a week ago for my Sacha Baron Cohen fan club that my friends and I have.
Just peeling back the onions.
Everything you say, Mia, comes out of a generator, I'm pretty sure. I cannot
It's
predict
all the most
anything.
beautiful riddles I've ever heard. It's so, you're just like some wizard that just like gives these gifts and leaves. It's amazing.
I cannot guarantee what you were going to say next.
I know that
Please.
was a big one. I just wanted to say that I did rewatch it with my fellow SBC friends. We were all born in the same hospital, and we think that's why we have this SBC curse.
Oh my god!
We're just like
what?
we're just obsessed. We're like obsessed with him. So we've started like rewatching all of his films weekly.
All the hits,
and we just watched Sweeney Todd, and he deserved a supporting actor nomination.
I will say, he has a wild look in that
It's
movie.
a wild look.
He always looks deranged in movies, but he especially
His
looks
like tight
deranged in
pants,
yeah.
where it's like, oh my god, Borat is hung.
Oh my god!
It's wild.
So yeah, that's my update. My brain is deteriorating, and I just have Sondheim stuck in my head forever for the foreseeable future.
It's just, I like it. Whatever! I like it. Okay.
Listen, it's great, but also...
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
How are you, dude? What's up?
I'm okay. I'm just like, just like life is just like really good. I was really hoping by between us talking last week and this week, I could give you a fantastic update that the West Coast was no longer on fire, and I cannot do that, unfortunately. But that's okay. I will persist, I guess, even though our air is not clean, and that's okay. But as far as happy things that have existed in my world recently, I wanted to bring to the space a conversation that I had with my homeroom class this morning. We are still in the process of trying to get to know each other because I only see my homeroom once a week. And so I asked them an incredibly important question of, if you had a pet rock, what would you name it? And I'm so pleased to report that my children are amazing and are very creative.
There's so many on here that are just so good.
So we did this word cloud activity where they put it on here. The most common response that they gave was Rocky, which is not my favorite.
Sure.
My personal favorite name that was selected for the class is either Mr. Rock or Wreck.
Wreck is really good.
I love 7th graders so much.
It's so good.
Especially when they can't spell.
There's such a great array here. I do love to, because like you have your conventional ones, right, where it's like Rocky and The Rock, and it's like got it.
Yeah.
But then there's some that just like totally ignore The Rock's physical form. It's like, you know what? I'm not going to prescribe that with the name, I'm going to let it live its own truth.
Sure.
And so one of them is Floofy, which I love.
I love that.
Much. And Bubbles.
Bubbles is so pure.
It's like the opposite of a rock. The absolute opposite of a rock. But it's so good.
Yeah, it brought me a lot of joy today to watch in real time as they were selecting these names, and just to see like Hardo come up on the screen. It's like, oh, okay, sure. Yeah, fuck it. Let's do that.
Why not?
Right now. Why not? But yeah, I also wanted to bring that to the space, just because like it is nice to see humans existing. But speaking of hard things, Mia, I'm very curious for you to tell me about your relationship with these incredibly hard, sparkly vampires.
Hoo-hoo. Ha ha ha. Yes, I am in a relationship with every single one of them.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, not
I
Rosalie.
that.
Not Rosalie. I'm sorry. I'm kind of a Rosalie anti.
Whoa.
I know.
Whoa.
Rosalie's the one that gets the boot? The one?
I know. I'm kind of a misogynist, I guess.
Listen, hey, it happens. It happens. You know what? Dudes rock. I get it. Like,
she just pisses me off sometimes. She just hates Bella, but anyway, I'll focus on the ones that I really like Alice and Edward, who are my favorites.
Great.
Alice, I feel like actually had a lot of influence on me because when I go to the hairstylist, I show a picture of Alice Cullen. This is something I did
amazing.
Recently.
Oh, recent. Okay, so not.
Yeah. Well, recently is in like 2 years ago.
Right.
But that's
okay,
still recent.
Sure. Right.
Right.
Yes.
So she's like kind of a style icon for me. I really imprinted on her, much like Jacob and Renesmee.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so I kind of see myself more in her than Bella Swan. But I also, I think Bella's okay. Let me back up. I'm getting all flustered over all these vampires. So
Same.
I guess what I'll start with was I read the book because I saw a poster for the movie and was like, Robert Pattinson hot.
Great.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know, 12 or 13. And I was figuring stuff out. I didn't really know what hot meant. But I knew that guy was. So I read the book. And it really changed my life in a weird way, I feel like. I think a lot of people who read Twilight agree. Do you guys agree?
Absolutely. But I also read it at the same age that you did, too. So.
Yes, exactly. I think it wouldn't have impacted me so severely if it wasn't like one of the first big romance stories I read.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of a defender of, obviously I'm a defender of it. Like, I know it's, as they say, trashy, but I think it really hits on this very specific desire and, like, the fear of desire and the fear of, like, destroying somebody. I think the vampire thing is, like, a really interesting metaphor for, like, past traumas. And I think that we don't give it enough credit, even though it's written ridiculously. That is, so I guess that's my relationship, is that it's like, it's kind of a thorny relationship where it's like, yeah, he's being creepy and watching her sleep and like, I guess that's creepy. However, that's Robert Pattinson, so it's okay.
That's true.
If they had messed up the casting, it would have all fallen apart, I think. But they knew how to cast these films.
I think that it is hard to imagine. I mean, there are so many of those articles that have come out in the past decade plus of like, ooh, this person auditioned for Twilight as Bella Swan and like almost got it. And seeing their faces does not match now. Like, I can't imagine it being anyone else but Rob and Kristen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Oh, I also have something else to say. Oh my god, how could I forget this? I'm from Portland.
Wait, what the fuck?
I know.
Really?
Yeah.
So am I.
What?
What? Okay, that's so... Okay. So then, when Twilight was being filmed in Portland, it was such a, like, vibe.
Yes.
Because everyone... Okay, and I've talked about this on the show before, but, like, at my high school, when there was, like, a classmate of mine or whatever, her dad was working on Twilight, which is how I ended up with the script in my hands my freshman year of high school.
Oh my god.
But, like, so many things were filmed there in Portland and the adjacent areas that it was, like, the whole city was humming because we don't usually get, I mean, now we've just had, like, Grimm and stuff being filmed here, so it's not really much. That's so wild.
Oh my god. No, it was big for the PN dubs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wish I was, like, I was definitely too young when they were filming to, like, know about film production. I think I was in, like, 7th grade, I think, so.
I'm literally father time. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm not gonna get on a set or know anything about, like, but if I was older, I would have absolutely stopped the production.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh, no question.
That makes so much more sense to me. Yeah. Portland was definitely a time when that was being filmed. I don't know that I will ever be able to forget that, of them, like, going up to the fucking gorge and filming the prom scene, like...
Yes. It's just so scary that Robert Pattinson has, like, been where we have been. That makes me uncomfortable.
It's so wild.
It's like, that's scary to me. He's just so beautiful. It's scary that he was in our town. Our little... Portland? What?
Just little.
Just our little town. He was there. And, like, the Cullen house was, like, some Nike employee's house, right?
Yes.
That was around there. That's scary, too, that the Cullen house is just also in our state.
Well, and, like, there was so much in St. Helens happening at that time, and that's where my boyfriend is from. Every time there are people that show up, obviously, for Halloween Town, but it's like, no. You come here for Twilight. That's what you come here for.
Yes.
That is, like, really freaking my bean right now. Holy shit.
I mean, to come of age in the Pacific Northwest while Twilight was, like, this phenomenon. I mean, what were we supposed to do?
You had no choice but to stand.
We had literally no choice but to stand, like, the little definition of it. Like, there was nothing else we could do.
Oh, that's so wild. We have a couple of current events that I'm so excited to discuss with you. Speaking of stands, I guess, we have some really important movie news. Would you like to take us to the movie corner?
Absolutely. Welcome. We're here.
Wee, movie corner.
It's cozy. We got popcorn. We got some important news. First of which, incredibly important to our brands.
Yes.
Is that Harry Styles is going to be in a movie with most notably Dakota Johnson, but also Florence Pugh and Chris Pine. Executive produced by Catherine Hardwicke.
I can't believe that my mom, Catherine Hardwicke,
directed by Olivia Wilde,
is making it possible that for this, my one of my jobs, I get to actually talk about Harry Styles and not be off topic.
This is my Avengers. This
is my
Avengers.
That's so real. Oh my God. Okay, here's the thing. I thought I was going to implode when we watched Charlie's Angels. Like, I was like, it's too much. I can't be around other people watching this. This is an individual experience that I need to have. And
Right.
now we're getting Happiest Season, which I felt like was never going to happen. And yet it persists in the year of awful things. And now what? Oh, I cannot. I can't. I'm so excited.
We don't know anything about it, except that it's called Don't Worry, Darling.
And isn't it set in the 50s or something?
We know it's a psychological thriller and that Harry Styles and Florence Pugh are husband and wife.
Yeah.
And he has a secret.
Which, like, thank you.
Yes. He has a secret and she has to figure out the secret, which is very Twilight.
It is.
Mystery.
Catherine Hardwicke loves a secret.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hope Catherine Hardwicke single-handedly ruins Zach Braff and Florence Pugh's relationship. I love Florence Pugh, don't get me wrong. I just get away from that man.
Yes.
Please.
There's not an odder couple than me thinking about Florence and her going home to Zach Braff.
And she seems great, and I know she gets a lot of shit. That sucks or whatever. But also, Zach Braff.
Yeah. But also.
Counterpoint, Zach Braff.
The least sexy name, Zach Braff.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's so disrespectful. I've never been more excited. I will await the day. This gives me a new thing to live for. And the idea of these four powerhouses together is just really rocking my world. So thank you, Catherine Hardwicke. Thank you, Olivia Wilde.
Yes.
I appreciate you all so much. I know that you have another piece of our movie corner here, and I'm desperate to hear how your experience with evil Robert Pattinson went.
Hot, evil Robert Pattinson.
Yes,
yes. The Devil of the Time is out, baby. It's out. It's a movie.
Oh, well.
I'm pretty sure my editor's not going to let me run with this headline, but I deadass was like, this needs more Robert Pattinson. Like, not even as a bit. He's the best part of that movie, and he doesn't show up for an hour.
That's disrespectful. Are you kidding?
Yeah, it's like literally 55 minutes, I think.
I knew he was barely going to be in. I knew it.
Dude, I felt like bamboozled. I felt tricked. I felt led astray. I was so upset. Because this movie's like 2.5 hours long. 2:50, around there.
Wait,
and
it's 2:50?
2:15.
Oh, okay. I was like, no.
It's The Irishman, but
No.
and religion. And it's a long walk.
Aye.
There's moments of it that I think are good. I think all the performances are very good. Like, Robert Pattinson is great. What's his face? Twink boy. Tom Holland. Tom Holland is great. I have no connection to him other than the Umbrella video. That's all I know him
the
as.
Umbrella video was huge.
Oh my god.
Truly a cultural reset, but he's very good in it. So yeah, it's a movie. Wish Robert Pattinson was in it. More than
Twink Hollywood?
Oh, here's another thing. His accent is so... I'm scared of it, similar in the way that we are all scared of Robert Pattinson collectively.
He's always doing accents.
So charmed. He's always doing accents, and I don't know who's doing his vocal training. I don't know. I think he might just be going on a whim and just doing whatever feels right, which makes sense to me. The only way I can describe it is that it sounds like he's speaking in cursive. Like, it's so soft and so just like a whisper, but also like kind of high-pitched and like a little sing-songy. It's terrifying, and I hate it.
He's so scary. All I know is
You're
like
making me so excited for it.
in the trailer when he goes, delusions.
Yeah, very great. Very good.
That has been like one of my intrusive thoughts. It's just Robert Pattinson yelling.
Absolutely. I can't get it out, you know. It's my new ringtone.
Yeah.
Anytime someone texts me, it's just delusions. I will say it's worth a watch for sure. Like, it is. Robert is fantastic.
I signed a blood contract that says like I will watch every Robert Pattinson movie no matter what.
Oh yeah, us too.
Yeah.
We are bound.
Like, I watched The King. He's also doing a weird accent, and he also doesn't show up until like an hour in. He has like 3 scenes, but he does fall down in the mud, and it's really funny.
That's beautiful.
And he did it himself. He refused to have a stunt double for that. He was like, I have to fall.
Amazing.
I think that part's
art.
Yeah, it's art. And he's doing like this French accent, and he says like tiny cock is what he says to Timmy. He like says he has a tiny cock.
We do have one more piece of Robert Pattinson news. Cody, could you do me the honor of talking about the pen corner? Is this a thing?
Just the quickest, most beautiful highlight of a headline I've ever seen in my life. Robert Pattinson bought ex-Kristen Stewart ultra rare pen for over $30,000.
The idea of just being able to spend your money on whatever you want sounds great. In this case, $30,000 for a fountain pen?
It's gonna be so sad in the class war when we have to kill Robert Pattinson.
No.
We have to do it, but
we're gonna have to kill him, but
we're gonna have to do it, but it's gonna be very emotional.
the gross part about it is that he's gonna love it when we do that.
Oh my god, yeah, that sadist little bitch.
Yeah,
he's gonna fucking love it.
He's so...
Finally, someone will end his suffering.
Yeah.
God damn it.
See, we're still, falling right into his little trap.
Either way, he will win.
Yeah.
So
It's so frustrating. At least, so I tried to look into this a little bit more because I was like, there's no way that he would send this now. And the way that headline makes it seem like is he bought it recently for her. And it was when they were together, which makes a lot more sense to me.
Yeah.
The idea of sending
this was
your
yesterday.
a $30,000 gift is really something.
He's like, hey, I know we've been talking a while, and also I have COVID, but I sent you, a beautiful pen I spend so much money on.
Speaking of Robert Pattinson and COVID,
Yes.
did you guys, I'm sure you did, the pictures of him and his boring girlfriend out together?
What the fuck
Of them,
was he
kissing
doing?
in a park in London?
Hello?
Robert, seriously?
That literally was 2 weeks to the day today that that was announced.
Yeah.
So you should still be in your house.
Yeah, he should be in his house.
In your beautiful apartment that WB is fucking paying for.
Yeah.
Robert, I just don't understand. Why are you not making your shitty pasta with your partner in your home? Why do you have to... Why? Why do you have to be in a park right now? Do you not understand what's happening? We will explain the Newtons to you. It's not great, Robert. And you have it. We have a couple of listener questions here, which I'm incredibly excited to share with you. This first one was an email that we received. It is from Alexa. They say that the Twilight Renaissance hit them like a ton of bricks, which same. Hello. Welcome to the space. But Alexa says a lot of very kind things about us, which I will not wax poetic on, but I appreciate all of those. But Alexa does say, as a former Twihard, cringe, I have a lot of big thoughts and feelings about Twilight. I hope that it'd be okay if you share with them in future emails, which please do. One of the things I wanted to share about this that I enjoyed so much from this email is that we received a screenshotted text conversation between Alexa and their friend recommending our show, which is thank you, Alexa, for doing this work that we are not paying you for.
Right.
But
the grassroots marketing.
But thank you for being our street team. I appreciate that immensely.
Absolutely.
The next thing that we received, and here's the thing. We got this from one of our patrons, Mickey, and Mickey, thank you for sending this over. But also, why the fuck did you send this over? All Mickey said with this is Ashley Green content. So here I was earlier today making our show notes, and I click on this link, assuming that it'll be a compilation from a decade ago. I've never been more wrong in my entire life. And I need to share with the class about this to make sure that I'm not having a fever dream over this video. That there are not just two random white dudes, really popular on YouTube, collaborating with Ashley Green and just putting really shitty Halloween makeup on her.
That is unfortunately the world that we live in.
All I could think between this was I got incredibly furious because they didn't know that her name was Alice in the movies. How did you get Ashley Green here if you didn't do your homework? What are you talking about?
Google, a single Google.
One of the guys very confidently said, "Oh yeah, no, Bella drove a Mustang." Sir?
What I would give.
I mean,
could you imagine?
Instead of rolling up in that fucking shitty truck that just gives out plumes of smoke every time that it operates, instead she just rolls up in a Mustang that she drove to Forks from Phoenix. Love that.
I wouldn't recommend watching this video because it's quite painful. But if you just want to look at the end result, it looks like she's being held hostage by these two boys.
When she gets looks so like close to the camera.
She's so close. There's a little bit of blood dripping down, fake blood dripping down from her mouth, and her face is cake white.
It is so embarrassing.
It looks like she's trying to blink in Morse code. Like, please get me out of here. I don't know. I need to get a new agent. Like, I can't do this.
It made me so sad. And I hate it so much, this audacity of like, oh yeah, we should be doing collabs during this time of all times. And especially with Ashley Greene, when we only know that she was on Twilight. We don't know anything about those movies or anything else that she has done since then.
Yeah.
Do your work. Be better, people. Mia, were you planning on reading this new book, Midnight Sun, before you heard about our show?
I had been thinking about it. I was like, maybe so, because remember when it leaked all those years ago?
I do.
Like the first draft of it? Yes.
Partial draft 4.
Never
exactly.
forget.
The partial draft, yes. So I had read that already. So I was like, I already kind of read I don't know if I'm going to, it's just so long too, like 667 pages. So I was like, I don't know. I'm thinking about it. And then but I wanted to go on this thing. That was rude. It's a beautiful podcast. Oh my God. And so I was like, yes, honestly, this is an excuse to do it.
Right.
So I downloaded it for my little Kindle, and wow, you guys, it's like,
how are you feeling about it so far?
I keep having to just pause and be like, Edward. Edward, my boy,
yeah.
Eddie. Like when I was laughing so much during the first biology class scene when he's like, my throat's on fire, and he's like freaking out because of her scent. I kept just cracking up because I pictured it in the movie, and how in the movie he plays it like he's like disgusted, like he's just like disgusted by her, but in the book it's just like so different. He's like, I don't know. He's
oh, I could just rip this girl's spine out and kill the other 19 kids and it'll be fine. Don't worry about
he starts like coming up with like these like a way to do it, like his murder plan. It's just like so different. So I couldn't like divorce that image of the film from the book, and it was just like incongruent and making me laugh. So I'm having a good time like picturing Edward Cullen from the movie just doing all this shit. Like when he runs away to Denali because he's like upset that he almost killed this girl. He's like, I have to go away for a while. And he like runs away to Denali, and that other vampire Tanya's like, please fuck me. And he's like, no. And she's like, yeah, but that's a different chapter. Anyway, it's just making me laugh a lot, but in a fun way.
That's valid. Yeah, I think it is, it definitely is incredibly similar to Partial Draft 4, which doesn't mean that it's good, but here we are.
Yep.
This first chapter that we are looking at today, of chapter 13, is really something. And I don't know about you all, but this was the first chapter I was like, oh wow, this is really long. This just keeps going.
30 pages of 20 questions. Like, just back and forth. Forever.
Everything that you wanted to know about Bella to fill out her wiki page is in chapter 13.
It's like Steph was doing a character sheet, like,
yes.
Hey, I'm gonna, like, figure out who Bella is, like, what her motivations are, like, all that kind of stuff. And also, put all of that in one scene and put it in the book. What?
I hate
That's
that.
not how any of this works. What?
It makes no sense to me. So this chapter starts off with Edward, as usual, being in the corner of Bella's room, just, like, fucking watching her.
Oh my god, it makes me laugh!
This time he goes to great lengths to talk about how, like, she woke up several times throughout the night. She went to the bathroom and, like, still went back to bed and didn't notice him just, like, fucking chilling in the corner. Edward, read the room, please.
Yeah. Hey, not your time.
Not your
You guys,
time,
he's
dude.
practicing. It's endurance training.
Yep, it's definitely just practice for him to make sure that he's not going to kill her and not his overwhelming anxiety of her just being able to sleep. Ugh.
Yeah, no, that's definitely
Gross.
it. I like how he tells himself, like, no, I have to do this for my training. Okay, there's other ways, but...
Yeah, you could just, like, see her during normal school hours, Edward, and not do this, but sure, yeah, whatever.
You just go to school, you know? You're in almost all your classes together. You can just hang out at school. Don't go in her home. That's her space.
For real.
You're not
There's
invited.
like 100 high schoolers. You're going to be in the same classes together. It's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to watch her sleep. Edward, please. What I will say is I did find it a little bit interesting before we get into the 20 questions when he was really like focusing hard on Charlie to see if that he could understand his thoughts, and he just like does not at all. And he had briefly mentioned this before, but we just pick up Charlie's feelings and not his actual thoughts at all. Which I like this retcon that Stephanie has created of like, oh no, it's not just Bella, actually it's her whole family line.
Right.
And that's why she's like super special, actually.
I love this idea that just this whole bloodline, this whole family tree is just like secret vampires that they don't even know, but they just have something in their blood that's like, if we were turned vampires, we would have all this stuff going on. And we're like, what is this? What are we doing? It is so much easier to sell that this is a weird anomaly that happens once in a lifetime.
Absolutely.
Than having, oh, it's my dad and also everyone. What?
Because he goes on and he's like, well, I wonder if Charlie's parents are still alive. I should be able to go near them and see if I can hear their thoughts. It's like, no, Edward, stop it. Maybe pay attention in your Spanish class for once in your life. What the fuck, dude? Oh, God, he annoys me. But one of the patrons that we have, Carrie, was thinking, they say, I wonder if Charlie is just one of those people who doesn't have an internal monologue, and that's why Edward can't hear actual thoughts. But they also say, although I can't give Stephanie that much credit, to be honest. So.
It's fair.
The idea that Charlie Swan, who only cares about baseball and cheap beer and fishing, does not have an internal monologue and just like experiences things like a sim does make sense to me.
Experiences things like a sim. But then, like, wouldn't other people also be like that too?
You would
right?
think.
Like, wouldn't he hear that, or like not hear, just hear the feelings of other people who also don't have an internal monologue? Because he's acting like this is the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me. So I think it has to be a genetic thing.
Because also, like, Bella is new. Charlie has been in Forks his whole life. And you're telling me that Edward has not once had any interactions with the police of the small-ass town that he lives in?
Yeah.
And thought, hey, that's weird. I can't read your mind.
Yeah.
Right.
What?
I think if I've learned anything from this book so far, it is to not trust Edward. Edward is not a reliable writer at all. Because he literally was like, oh yeah, Rosalie doesn't have any thoughts. No thoughts. Yeah. Just a smooth brain. It's like, I can guarantee that is not true. You just don't give a fuck.
Edward is a lying little bitch, and I live by that.
Mm-hmm. He is a Gemini, and I can confirm that is true.
Oh, he's a Gemini? That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
I wish I could say that we have not looked at his birth chart, but we have, unfortunately. If I remember correctly, he also had a Leo moon, which is why he's such a like chauvinistic pig. So he's lion, and his emotions go towards attention, which does not surprise me. Oh, I hate this man. It's embarrassing. Okay, I desperately want to know your feelings, both of you, on this 20 question section here. There are a lot of gems that pop up, but I want to know which ones stood out to you the most.
As a movie girl, I was fascinated by Bella's favorite movie choices. It's
an incredible list.
Almost none of them make sense. Like some of them obviously make, like when she says, she's like, Beauty and the Beast. It's like, duh, shut up. And then that one's just like,
little on the nose.
Yeah, and then when she's like, oh, my favorite is when she goes, Pride and Prejudice, but the 6-hour version with Colin Firth. It's like, first off, that's not a movie. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I just think it's
Bella
funny.
has waded into the Twin Peaks discourse.
Yes, exactly. It's just like funny that she's like, but the Colin Firth version. I just think that's funny that Colin Firth exists in the Twilight universe.
Yes.
Honestly, good for him.
Yeah, good for him. And then, I don't believe her when she says Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Absolutely.
I just don't think that's true. I don't think it would make her laugh. I
just don't think Bella laughs. Is the thing.
Yeah, I just don't think she laughs. I don't believe she would like a comedy.
No,
Especially
no.
this, like, a very broad, silly, like, it's very silly. I feel like her comedies are, like, witty. She likes wit.
A smart humor.
Yes, smart humor. Like the Whit Stillman films, like Last Days of Disco or Metropolitan, or, like the sophisticated. But she likes this silly movie, I guess, and then she doesn't really explain why. Like, if I were Edward, I'd be like, say more about that.
Because the rest of
He does that often.
Yeah, he does say that. He's like, tell me more. And it's like, you didn't question Monty Python and the Holy Grail being your favorite movie? Whatever. Okay, whatever. Because her other movies, let's get to the big one, which is Gattaca.
I want to know your thoughts on this as someone who has not watched that movie. What is this in character for her or not? What do you think?
It's hard to say, because okay, so I have seen Gattaca 3 times. We kind of discussed this before recording. In public school in the Beaverton School District, I watched Gattaca in 7th grade, 10th grade, and 12th grade for our genetics unit. They just kept showing it, so I've seen it 3 times, and I guess it makes sense in the sense that it's about destiny and genetics, which is, like, very, very loosely a part of Twilight, but again, very
Stephanie's
loosely.
Just looking at us like, do you get it? Do you get what I'm referencing here?
Yeah, it's like about, like, Jude Law plays, like, this perfect man, and Ethan Hawke takes his genes, because in this world, like, your lot in life is determined by your genetic makeup. So,
interesting.
Like,
almost like what Stephanie's going for.
Almost like that. So, like, Ethan Hawke has shitty genes, but he wants to go to space and be an astronaut. And then Jude Law has awesome genes, so Ethan Hawke takes the genes and, like, kind of commits identity theft. So it's like, in that sense, the whole, like, great genes and your destiny is already picked for you based on your genes is kind of like what Bella is dealing with.
She says as she is eating an apple. Like, Stephanie, we got it.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, but it's also just, like, ridiculous. It's nobody's favorite movie. Like, it's
No.
Right.
It's like you can like the movie, but, like, favorite, I don't know.
What was the one we were talking about last week, Cody? Was it Lorenzo's Oil? Right?
It was Lorenzo's Oil.
That they were watching in bio. Oh, God.
Like, is Steph okay? Like, who?
No, obviously
was,
not.
Clearly not, but, like, blink twice if you need help, Steph. Like, it's okay. There are other movies.
You can say that you like stuff. Like, the idea that Bella feels pressured to say that she likes Vertigo. Beauty and the
Vertigo.
Beast, and fucking Empire Strikes Back. Like,
I forgot about Empire Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back, I think that one's also crazy.
It makes no sense to me.
That one really, like, it makes less sense.
A single Star Wars? No way.
No, Bella Swan does not like Star Wars. And I don't think we need to pretend like she does.
She didn't know
and she doesn't have to if she doesn't want to.
She doesn't know what Comic-Con was! Empire Strikes Back, are you kidding? Oh my god. Favorite movie? Why, Bella? Tell me why it's your favorite movie.
If she was answering the question of, like, which movie did I see the most growing up because it was just on basic cable, then yes, a lot of her answers make sense. But for favorite movie, Bella Swan, no. Absolutely disagree. It annoys me. How dare you have the audacity to say that in a fucking brown sweater, eating an apple, being like, oh yeah, actually, Monty Python has a lot of deep philosophical meaning. You just, like, have to really get into it. It seems like you're not getting it, so.
Her brown sweater, which is her favorite color.
Ugh.
Of course.
And she goes on and I remember this from Twilight, so it's not like it's anything new, but every time that she just, like, waxes poetic about Brown and Phoenix in here, it's just like, can you please stop? No one loves Phoenix, okay?
She loves it, though. She loves it.
They're both warm, Allie. They're both warm.
Yeah,
and
she
feels at home.
And, like, yeah, because she, like, loves Topaz, but that's her favorite gemstone today because of his
eyes.
Eye color.
And brown is his favorite color because of her eye color now.
Awful.
If
so
I
bad.
had a soundboard right now that I could just press to make a gagging sound, I would have been consistently pressing it while reading this chapter.
100%. Yep.
Now, here's what I'll say. We have to spend a moment to talk about this Linkin Park moment because it really rocked me.
Jesus. Sorry.
There was a lot about it because it's like, first off, it's like this is the car that's in her car, or this is the CD in her car, whatever. But then Edward has the same CD. He asks her what her favorite song is. She answers, and he mentally goes through all the lyrics. Like he knows every lyric to every Linkin Park song. It is implied.
I cannot.
I love that so much.
One of our patrons, Kelly, had talked about this too. She said, I can't believe that Stephanie just conveniently left out that Edward had memorized all the Linkin Park lyrics from Hybrid Theory. For someone who apparently didn't like 80s music, which I had forgotten about until this part, I think a love of alternative rap rock would be a stretch. That being said, I would like everyone to choose their favorite song from Hybrid Theory. Kelly Beck's apparently is Crawling. So
Crawling's really good.
I think that's the only choice, and that's what I'm
It's a
gonna lean
top
into.
tier, but Paper Cut's also pretty good. So.
Okay, that's fair.
My truth?
Yes?
My
Go
truth
on.
is that I never did listen to Linkin Park, but I was like
Whoa.
I know, isn't that wild? Because you would think
That's some West Side of Portland shit. I gotta be honest. Over in Gresham, we were listening to more trash than Linkin Park, but I grew up on the rough side of town. Mia.
Well, I'm like shocked that I didn't, because I listened to like a lot of rock and alt rock. Like I listened to Escape the Fate. Like I was into like the scene emo shit, you know? So I just like don't know why I never listened to Linkin Park, because I was into all the other alt rock bands. So
Sure.
ask me about literally any other one and I would have an answer, but I'm sorry, I cannot answer authentically.
That's fair. You don't have to pretend.
Okay.
I will say, though, that the most authentic moment in this chapter for me is when Bella says, so, and she's like constantly questioning Edward's music taste, and she's like, sorry, you went from Debussy, and not Debussy, Debussy, to this? Hello? Like,
Yeah.
what
Such
are
a
you talking
pivot.
about?
Such a hard. What I would
such a
give to
hard pivot.
see what his mixtapes would be. Like,
Yes.
specifically. Like, what's his little mix CD situation?
That's
going?
terrifying. Edward Cullen making a playlist for you.
Oh.
Just truly haunting.
No.
And you know that he would choose like the most obvious songs and then be like, actually there's like a really deeper meaning to this if you just like really think about it. He says as he puts like I Miss You on there from fucking
Right.
2022.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
we
that
got
would-
it, Edward.
And then he'll just like
yeah.
have a panic attack in his brain, be like, "Do you think she knows? Do you think she knows that I like her?"
Do you think I need to delve into these lyrics a little bit more for her to understand that I'm just like sitting here pleading my heart to her?
I hand wrote the track list and I put a little sticker on it. Do you think she gets it? Do you think you think she knows?
Oh, Edward, you're so much all the time. There's a little bit of more details in this chapter than we get in like just regular Twilight, in the sense that the reason why Edward is so pissy during this 20 question scene is because his siblings have just said fuck you to him and are doing a bet on whether Bella will survive or not, which seems like the most immortal thing, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Oh my god, he's like in Spanish class being just like pissed off. And he's like, 15 minutes till I can go beat Emmett up. Like, yeah,
Him
yeah,
just,
you're
like,
gonna...
crunching on his teeth
Oh,
so
he
much that Ben is like, sorry, what the fuck was that?
I'm laughing. When he crunches his teeth so hard that like the whole class looks around.
Ugh. Negative ASMR is what that
Oh
was.
my god. He crunched his teeth. That's funny.
A few more notable moments from this. Obviously, we get the, like, it's Twilight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah,
all
yeah.
I
When they
can
said
imagine-
Twilight, yeah.
Like, we got that scene in actual Twilight, too. But in this one in particular, I just more so, like, felt the Hannah Montana sting underneath it. Because it was just so, like, obvious and gross. That I could not take it seriously. Now, I do want to know your opinions on when Edward drops Bella off after the whole, like, moment with the blacks that happens, and he just, like, sits in Carlisle's office waiting for his dad/love.
Yeah, I think it's
really
cute.
Did something for me.
When he goes to the hospital and he's like, I don't even have to go, like, see it. I'll just go to his office and he'll know I'm here. And then it was true. He walks in.
It was true.
It was true. He knew he was there. And Carlisle, I do love Carlisle. I really do.
Absolutely.
I appreciate him. I love this family. I love when Edward goes back and Esme's like, I missed you so much. Where are you at? And he's like, oh, well, I've been falling in love with this ridiculous human. Right. And Esme just does not understand why he would love someone that doesn't bring him, like, happiness and just makes him sad all the time.
She just cares so much.
She does, and I love her. I love her so much. So, chapter 14 is more so of all of these questions. The worst part of this chapter for me, and it is hard to choose, is when Edward is so shocked that Bella has never dated anyone before. And then is immediately, like, turned on by it, of like, oh my god, this is the first time that we're ever, like, loving other people, and it's both their first time. And that is, if that is not everything I know about LDS, then I don't know anything.
Yeah.
It felt a lot of Stephanie being like, here are my morals. Just like,
yes.
right here for you.
Yes, very Mormon.
Yeah.
Also, just like that whole, like, the purity of virginity aspect. Mm-hmm. It's also just not, it's honestly not surprising that she didn't date before. Like, I don't know why he's like so shocked about it, but it's like, yeah, she just sits in her room and reads all the time. Like,
her job as a kid was to take care of her parent. How do you have time for that?
Yeah, like, she's busy reading, she's busy watching Monty Python, and Gattaca, her favorite movies.
Just on repeat.
Yeah, and she's just like she's clearly very introverted and shy, and like she also clearly won't go after anybody for the most part. Like, I don't know, I think it makes a lot of sense, but he's just like so enamored by her beauty that he's like, I just don't believe that nobody would talk to you. And it's like, Edward, modern boys don't like when girls are smart.
Yeah.
True.
Modern boys do not like girls who read. So,
and he just doesn't seem to comprehend that, like, she's a Virgo. She would rather just yearn and pine for the rest of her life than actually do anything about it. Mm-hmm. And yet here he is being like, oh, well, I don't get it. I just don't understand. Which, honestly, that's fair. I will say at the end of this chapter, I mean, there's some comments where, like, Bella starts talking about how much she hates Wazoo, which, like, very much came off to me as someone, like, Stephanie is writing this not understanding where Wazoo is. Because it is on the eastern side of Washington, which is usually, like, very dry and hot during the times when our sun is actually out here, and then it will, like, snow and stuff. And so, to me, it just felt very unnecessary. I mean, I don't like Wazoo because there's but it did not make any sense to me personally why that would happen, because there's a lot of brown there. So
yeah,
interesting.
There's
very selective on the kind of brown she likes, I guess.
Where is Stephanie Meyer from?
She has a house here in Washington, which I found out about 4 weeks ago, and it really freaked my bean, because the idea of her living so near to me right now just, like, really scares me. But she was born in Connecticut, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
yeah. I think that's right.
And then I think she did live in Phoenix for a while, but it makes no sense. I don't get it. I don't understand.
Okay, yeah, I was just looking at her Wikipedia. Yes, she was raised in Phoenix.
Okay. Yeah,
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Makes sense why she talks about their freeways the way she does. So.
Yeah. It just, sometimes reading the Twilight books specifically, it's like, I don't know how accurate this is to the PNW lifestyle.
None.
Yeah, none. Yeah. Just like, I don't know, nobody's smoking weed, and if it was really the PNW, people would be smoking weed.
And just the way that she talks about always wanting to go to Seattle, as if the drive from Forks to Seattle is not literally 5 hours one way.
Yeah.
Because you have to go across a national forest. Like, Stephanie, please stop. But it's okay. This chapter does end, like, Alice finally meets Bella, which is what Alice has been pestering Edward about for forever, which is nice.
She's cute. She's sweet. I like Alice.
I know.
Alice.
Alice needs
She just wants
more
to love
attention.
Bella and to be loved by Bella so much.
And Edward is just like, no, mine.
No, get out of here.
Just scram. And it's so
Yeah.
mean because Alice just wants to let her have a friend for once. But this is a lot of like setup to the meadow, which means that next week when we get to chapters 15 and 16, we will finally actually have the meadow scene, which I'm very curious to see through Edward's perspective.
Yes. Yes.
Finally. Because that was like the whole fucking dream. Like that's what started this whole thing. And so to be able to get it from his perspective is going to be very interesting. We have some amazing patrons to thank before we can get to the fantastic fan fiction that Mia has collected for us, which I don't want to know about. Hey, here's the thing. There are so many of you all that give us money now, and I'm not going to complain about it. What I will say is that trying to find cute, catchy listicles for all of y'all is a little bit hard. And so we're just trying to improvise today. It's been a while since we chose our patrons as songs from the soundtracks, so we're just returning back to an old favorite.
Yeah.
Cody, would you like to start us off this week?
Absolutely. Shout out Kylie Minty.
Pew, 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 pew.
Who's gonna be Decode.
Oh my, just like really going for it.
Starting off strong. Starting off with a heavy hitter.
All right, that's great. All right, shout out to Elizabeth James, who is gonna be, so we're doing the Twilight and New Moon soundtracks just so that y'all don't come for me. Let's see, Elizabeth, obviously you have to be Hearing Damage from the New Moon soundtrack.
Ooh, great.
Because Band of Skulls goes really hard on that. Mia, would you like to do our next patron?
Okay, thank you. Yes, I will do, hello, Jess Love. Shout out to Jess Love. I am going to assign you Flightless Bird, American Mouth, because that is the,
Amazing.
I know, that's the prom song, and, it's very romantic, like the word love. So, there you go.
Amazing.
Hell yeah.
I love that.
Shout out to Alexandra Black.
Pew, 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 pew.
Who's gonna be Possibility by Likey Lee.
Oh.
Classic.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. Shout out to Alex Dornan,
Point.
who's gonna be The Violet Hour by Seawolf, because that is
Amazing.
God, the New Moon soundtrack goes so hard.
Okay, shout out to Carrie Goldberg. Pew, pew, pew. Let's see. I'm going to... Oh, you guys, I really like the song Satellite Heart by Anya Marina.
Yeah.
I think that one is very underrated. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
there you go.
It's a great choice.
Amazing. Shout out Mickey Meyer,
Pew, 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 pew.
who's gonna be Belle's Lullaby. Classic.
Oh,
Whoa.
whoa.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. Well, since we're going for heavy hitters then, shout out to Maggie
I'm not
Quinn.
afraid. I love these patrons, okay? I'm gonna give them what they deserve, alright? I'm not pussyfooting around.
Wow. Okay. All right. Then only for you, Maggie, you were obviously going to be Never Think,
Hell yeah.
because you just gotta really do it to him, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, Never Think. Performed by Robert Pattinson. So that's like a...
Never forget.
Never forget, never think.
Never forget.
Okay.
Also, never forget that he was in a 9/11 movie.
The 9/11 movie.
Never
Remember.
forget.
Remember me. Okay. Shout out to Katie Weber. Pew, 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 pew. Wing. I am going to give you... Let's do... Why is this so hard, though? It's fun and it's hard, also. Let's do the Linkin Park one. Leave out all the rest.
Yes.
Yes, Linkin Park. Yes.
It's a
Amazing.
great choice.
Shout out Zoe Steele, who's gonna be Solar Midnight by Lupe Fiasco
Oh, hell yeah.
on the deluxe version.
Amazing. I love that. Shout out to Rebecca Cullett, who is obviously going to be, The New Moon Australia and New Zealand bonus track of Thunderclap by Eskimo Joe.
Eskimo Joe?
Because sure, only for you, Rebecca.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Elizabeth Swan, who... That's the name of Keira Knightley in Pirates of the Caribbean, if I'm not mistaken. So,
hell yeah.
I think you're right.
Yes. So shout out to you for being in that film. You get Claire de Lune.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
Heavy hitter. Shout out to Amy Taylor.
Pew, 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 pew.
Who's gonna be I Caught Myself by Haley Williams and Josh Fair.
Damn.
Also known as Paramore.
Also known as Paramore. All right, shout out to the titular Mulch Gray.
Mulch Gray.
Who's gonna be the infamous Supermassive Black Hole.
Oh, man, I was hoping we were gonna make another round. Damn it.
Because when I think of Mulch, I do think of a supermassive black hole.
Mulch does deserve it, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, shout out to Taylor Browntown Lautner. That's an awesome name.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna give you, a White Demon Love Song by The Killers. Yeah, The Killers made it on here. That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's a great one.
Amazing. Shout out Kelly Beck.
Pew, 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 pew.
Who's gonna be?
You gotta do it for my mom.
I know. Kelly Beck, our mom, your mom. The Violet Hour?
Yes. Yes, that's a great choice. Shout out to Aaron Salinger.
Bwee, bwee, bwee.
Now, Aaron, I don't want you to get offended by this. This is only just because I care about you so much. I'm going to choose from the Twilight Deluxe Edition DVD, and you are going to need a Haley Williams interview because what the fuck?
Whoa.
Oh my god.
That's a
Is
special
it that one that she's talking with Robert being like,
I think so.
that cursed one?
Yeah.
It's so good.
Okay, Sophia Salinger. Hello, howdy. I'm going to, you know what? You get, this is important. The bonus track, iTunes bonus track, Let Me Sign by Robert Pattinson.
Ugh, yes.
So important.
He wrote 2 songs. That's awesome.
Amazing.
That's so great. All right, bring us home.
Shout out Donna Kavanaugh.
Pew, pew, pew.
Who's gonna be Radiohead's 15 Step, which is the first song of the ending credits of Twilight, but was not on the soundtrack.
Disrespectful.
Truly disrespectful.
All right, shout out to Catherine Hale, who's
Wee.
gonna be... I don't know that we've done this one yet. Have we done the Bon Iver song?
I don't think so.
All right, then it's only for you, Catherine Hale. You are gonna be Rosalind, one of my favorites off of the New Moon soundtrack.
Okay, and then our last one, let's see, Casey Martini, parentheses, Jason Taylor.
Never forget.
Never forget that we named you after Taylor from fucking 50 Shades of Grey.
After the actor who plays Jason Taylor in 50 Shades of Grey. That's how many degrees of separation we're at now.
Okay, so I'm going to give you from the New Moon soundtrack, New Moon, parentheses, since there are parentheses, The Meadow by Academy Award winner Alexander Desplat. I don't know how to say that. Desplat.
Sure.
Yep.
The French
One of my
guy.
favorites.
He's awesome. He's great. So there you go.
I've been waiting for this our entire time because if I've learned anything from Mimi, it's to expect the unexpected. Can you tell us what fan fiction you brought to the space today?
Yes. Yes, I can. So you said that it should be Twilight related, but you trust me. And
Yes,
the truth
I do.
is, the truth is I didn't really read a lot of Twilight fanfic because it's already such a fanfic. I read
Yep, same.
X-Files fanfiction.
Oh, shit.
Oh, damn.
So I have selected a piece from perhaps the most infamous X-Files fanfiction, the Chili's fanfic. Have you heard of this?
Oh.
But I'm excited.
So this fanfiction is about Mulder and Scully being trapped at the Chicago airport and having sex in a Chili's.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
You have my attention.
so it gets very raunchy, and I encourage everybody to read this fanfic because I honestly love it. But I've selected just like kind of a tamer selection.
Okay.
She is also in the fanfiction. She is wearing a pink fuzzy sweater, much like Bella wears a brown sweater. So there's something about sweaters that men with weird dark pasts are attracted to. So
you have my complete attention.
for a little bit of context, this fanfiction takes place a little bit after they've kissed in season 6 or something. I don't know. I don't know. Did you guys watch The X-Files?
Sort of.
I only
Yeah,
know
on
a
and
little
off,
bit
yeah.
about X-Files. Yeah, just a bit.
Okay. Well, they have their first kiss many, many, many seasons in on New Year's Eve. So this takes place like right after, like a few days after they did that. So their relationship is different. But I guess, okay, you'll see. I'll just read it. Ahem. God. Okay. But you see, ever since I kissed Scully on New Year's Eve, things have been a little different between us. In fact, to the casual observer, I suspect we look like we're doing it. I mean, she giggles at my jokes now. She purrs, she bats her eyelashes, she fiddles with the tip of my tie. She's driving me insane. So how could I help myself? I had to kiss her. And it was the single, most sweepingly Victorian literature glorious sunrise romantic moment in my dark life. And afterward, she smiled at me. Okay, then she frowned, but that was the result, apparently, of reality. Well, fuck reality. And then I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit to now they're in the Chili's and they're drinking wine and they're flirting. Okay. We laugh and sip, and then she's looking at me with this sort of raw hunger, and I can't take it anymore. So I take her wine glass from her hand and set it on the table next to my own. Then I reach over and cradle her face in my hands. We're both twisted around in the booth and are staring into each other's eyes. Mulder, she whispers, so I lean in and I kiss her. And it's not the kiss we shared at midnight. That was the 1999 model. This is the new, improved Millennium Kiss. Now, with tongue. After 10 minutes, 3 hours, who knows? She pushes me back gently and giggles. I'm lunging for her again, content to knock her back onto the vinyl bench and grind into her like an animal. But she shakes her head. Calm down, she says, her hand on my chest. I need a drink. Calm down? I've never been more happy or excited in my life. If I were a dog, I'd be whittling on the carpet. I've kissed her, and she's kissed me, and there's the possibility of more kissing to come. So, and then they have very graphic sex in the Chili's booth, but that's something that's it's very private. I encourage you to look it up on your own. But yeah, that is the one I selected. This was a formative fanfiction for me. The Chili's Airport X-Files fanfic. Thank you. I'm sorry it's not Twilight related, but their relationship is it's a little bit Twilight adjacent, I think. So
Absolutely.
Sure, yeah.
God, I need a cigarette after that. Mia, before we head out, where can folks on the internet be able to support your stuff that you do?
Thank you. Well, the main thing is my Letterboxd, letterboxd.com/bratpitt. That's really where I do most of my writing, but I also write for a newspaper called Willamette Week. It's an alt weekly in Portland. I do the weekly film column. And I'm on Twitter @bratpitt, of course.
Of course. An important follow, I would suggest highly.
Thank you.
Mia, this has been one of the most unexpected episodes I think we've ever had, and I have enjoyed the hell out of it.
Truly beautiful.
Thank you so much for having me
on.
on.
Yeah. Well, I think that more than usual, I feel like it's appropriate to say that from here in the Pacific Northwest,
Get bit.
get whipped.
Ooh.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. Our theme music is by Eli Krauss, and our artwork is by Maddie Padilla. Follow the show on Twitter @IntoTheTwilight and support us on Patreon at patreon.com/IntoTheTwilight. Send us an email or a fanfiction at intothetwilightshow@gmail.com. You can find Allie at Into Wild Places and me at Cody Crow. You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.